Here to learn about what funding and grant opportunities are out there, whether it's for your for-profit or your nonprofit. You are in the right space. Thank you for taking time to join us and learn more about these funding opportunities. Real quick about Zoom, please change your name in case it says like Zoom user 1 or iPhone or Android, just so that when you do have a question, we know who is asking the question. It's not mandatory to turn on your camera. If you're asking a question, feel free. But if you do have questions, you can raise your hand and always be respectful. I mean, everyone in the room, we are here to learn together. So feel free to use the chat. As we mentioned, put information about your business or your nonprofit and the website link, because then when the recording goes out, it'll have that saved so people can check it out. And as the presentation is going, please do mute your mic. If you do have a burning question, feel free to raise your hand. Otherwise, put the question in the chat. That way, once we go through the initial presentation, I'll make sure and get to that question. Real quick, I did want to acknowledge the first peoples of our traditional land. So I would like to begin by acknowledging the indigenous peoples of all the lands that we are on today. While we meet today on a virtual platform, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge the importance of the lands which we all call home. We do this to reaffirm our commitment and responsibility in improving relationships between nations and improving our own understanding of local indigenous peoples and their cultures. From coast to coast to coast, we acknowledge the ancestral and unceded territory of all Inuit, Métis, First Nations, and First Nations people that call this land home. Please join me in a moment of reflection to acknowledge the effect of residential schools and colonialism on Indigenous families and communities, to consider how we are and can each in our own way try to move forward in a spirit of reconciliation and collaboration. So thank you for that. So we are here in partnership with Empowered for X. So Empowered for X is a physical co-working space in Brampton, but it also has satellite locations in Ottawa and in Durham. We are definitely committed to supporting your business to get to that next level, whether it's through consulting, training, business support. As I mentioned, our co-working space. So do engage. Our team from Empowered for X is on. They're going to be putting links and emails that you can follow up. Some of the training that we do offer include the Social Enterprise Certification Program. We have a Mental Health Standard Certification and the Mental Health Supporting Youth Certification, and Grant Hunter University, which we're going to be talking about a bit later today, a way that you can kind of self-study with our online course to help you create those grants that you need in order to apply for some of the ones that we might be finding. So as I mentioned, we do have virtual office opportunities. So if you're running your business and it still has your home address on that incorporation or that registration, we would encourage you not to use your home address and to use a virtual address. Either we have locations in Brampton, Scarborough, and Ottawa. We do offer consulting services as well through marketing support, grant writing support, technology builds, whether it's apps or websites, management services, and also business plans. So if you do need help in any of those areas and you're trying not to do it yourself, definitely we can support you with that. All right, so a bit about Empowered for X, and we typically have this spectrum between doing it yourself to modify, making others do it for you. So do it yourself, as we're here today with this free session, being able to support you with sharing notes, whatever information that we can find about grants, we want to share it with you. So we do these info sessions. But also we have Grant Hunter University, which is an online course that you're able to take to help you with your grant writing process. Our funding summary is somewhere in the middle, or us creating a blueprint for you or doing a review of your grant, and also working groups. So having paid sessions where we're able to come as a group, find a grant that we want to go after, and then write that as a group. So beyond, I would say, doing it yourself or doing it with us, we also have Modify. So making others do it for you, where we're able to do the grant writing for you. So if stuff is just on your plate and it's too much, we offer these services to take it off your plate. So the marketing services, the grant writing, technology builds, websites, apps, these are things that we can do for you so that we can just become your team working alongside you to execute on your behalf. All right. So one thing that we wanted to update this slide, upcoming event, we are going to be doing a working group around the TELUS Stand with Owners grant. So we'll talk a bit more of that. We don't have the exact date just yet, but that's one of the active grants that we've seen success with before. We want to make sure that we do that one together. And we always do want to say thank you to our valued partners. So Alterna Savings, SETC, the social economy through social inclusion, Sheridan Edge, the entrepreneurship discovery and growth engine, Calabash, which is a cooperative of expert service providers in the Black community, ZFC, Zoosh Services Enterprise, that is one of our business advisory partners, the Dream Legacy Foundation, that focuses more on tech startups with their partnership with the DMZ, being able to support you in creating your MVP all the way up to funding it through their venture capital firm, BKR, and One Full Circle, which is one of our partners in Montreal. So we're kind of like sister brother organizations. We do similar work for our network, but they're based in Quebec and we're based in Ontario. And the Toronto Community Benefits Network, being able to work with Rosemary Powell, and a big fan because they've supported us from day one. So we always want to give a special shout out to TCBN.
I'm based out in Montreal also. Just fun fact.
Yeah, appreciate that, Ed. All right, so quick agenda. We will be meeting the facilitator, which is myself. We're going to do an overview of grants and various loan products, and of course, talk about how we can help. So a bit about myself. My name is Ryan Knight. I do consider myself a serial social entrepreneur. I run a social enterprise called Detailing Nights, which provides mobile waterless car cleaning. And we work with youth in the community to teach them entrepreneurship during the summer months, which we're in the process of now. So shout out to our youth crew that's out there working. Service Kingdom is a consultancy firm that helps with nonprofits starting social enterprises, and also for-profit companies starting or operating more as a social enterprise. Executives Power Up is an entity that helps businesses become more investable. So a lot of times when you're looking to grow and bring on additional capital, you need a strong C-suite team. So that's your CEO, CTO, CMO, Chief Marketing Officer, Chief Executive Officer, Chief Tech, all the C-level expertise might not be there right now, but working with Executives Power Up, we're able to place that team with your company to make it more attractive to investors so that you can scale up. And Black Panther's Cage, which is I would say similar to a Dragon's Den or a Shark Tank, but think of Black investors pitching to Black founders, being able to, have that support for your business to get you investment and additional support. But for myself, I am one of the co-founders of the Afro-Caribbean Business Network, and we support entrepreneurs. I'm going to talk a bit about that in a sec, but I'm also part of the Empowered Forex business crew, being able to support your business with getting to that next milestone that you have. Oh, sorry, just one sec. Oh, so a bit about the ACBN. We started over 6 years ago, and really it was to fill a gap for entrepreneurs of African and Caribbean heritage, really to figure out what stage the business is in, and then help them create a strategy to grow their companies. As I mentioned, I was running the company Detail Ignites, and when we were ready to franchise and scale across Canada and into the US, there weren't a lot of Black-focused business organizations that existed to help with that mandate, or they didn't have it in their mandate to help companies scale up. So we brought 6 other entrepreneurs together, said, could we create this entity that would sit down with an entrepreneur, figure out what stage they're in, and then help them grow exponentially. And thus ACBN was born. Over the past 6 years, we've engaged with actually close to 6,000 Black entrepreneurs. We're seeing a good majority of them are female entrepreneurs, and 91% of them are the business founder or the CEO in their company. Also, what I'm really proud of is being part of the Black entrepreneurship ecosystem, which is a partnership between 40 other Black-focused business organizations. So our reach extends across Canada, and also we're able to support over 20,000 entrepreneurs. And so no matter what stage your business is in, we're able to connect you to the right resource to help you grow your business. Some of the pillars that we do stand on: entrepreneurship, of course, the main one. That probably should be like the foundation of what we do, because I feel entrepreneurship is one of the best tools that we can use to build economic empowerment. So being able to start a business has low barrier to entry, but it also has unlimited potential. So that helps with economic empowerment so that we can support other themes in the Black community if we have a strong economic base. And so through convening, whether it's in person at some of our networking events or our annual symposium or the National Ecosystem Conference, or just online here, it's a chance for us to share notes and to understand what you're going through and then figure out a way to support you. But of course, the main reason that we're here today is this access to funding. So one thing that we were able to create was a microloan program, which we'll talk about a bit later, in partnership with Alterna Savings. But today we're more so talking about what grants are out there. And that's why I typically like to show this slide, which gives a breakdown of different funds that we've been able to acquire in the past. And you'll notice it ranges from as low as $500 all the way up to over $1 million. And also it's different types of funds. So we've done pitch competitions, we've got funding from the city, from the province, from the federal government, and also from corporations. So one thing that I know about myself is I am not an academic grant writer, but I do consider myself a grant hunter. We will go out and find anything and everything that we qualify for and make sure that we get our applications in. And that's what we want to encourage you to do as well, is to make sure that any grants that you qualify for, you do not miss it just because you didn't put in your application. So it's great talking about funds that we've gotten, but I'm more proud of funds that we've helped others acquire, whether it's Rescue Youth International, helping them start a social enterprise and them accessing the investment readiness program. Custodia, who was a for-profit and didn't realize they're running a social enterprise, they're able to access $100,000. And New Life Project, working with Brenda Williams, who is doing great work with their organization, but then not having the time to always be researching and writing grants themselves. We were able to work with them, and they were able to access the Supporting Black Communities Initiative. And beyond just helping people write grants for themselves, we've also played a role of trustee. So for Seventh Adventist Church in Meadowvale, we were able to be the trustee that received funds from FedDev so that they can do a project. And they were able to access $325,000. And Youth Village, they were able to work with a grant that we were applying for, and we were able to include them in our grant so that they were able to access over almost $60,000 as a new organization, so they don't have to start from scratch. So these are creative ways that we can access some of this funding. So anything that we see and find, never count yourself out. Always see if there's a way to get creative to unlock the funding that you need. So 2 ways that we help you get prepared. For businesses, we have a business plan blueprint. The next session will be happening later this month. I'll make sure the team gets that link. So if you do need help to finish your business plan so that you can access some of the loan funding, or if you just need a better plan to operate your business, that session is really great that Chris Beth walks us through. So we'll put that link in the chat later. But the grant writing blueprint is what I'm going to be more talking about. And I remember with Detail Ignites, we used to apply for grants all the time because we were running this youth entrepreneurship program in the summer. We're teaching kids how to start their businesses. We checked all the boxes of community work, yet every time we applied for a grant, it was declined. So finally, we were able to partner with a nonprofit. We had a grant writer come in and, analyze and give a review and fix up the language so that it was definitely 10 times better. And when we were successful with that Youth Opportunities Grant, and that was back in 2016, that became our blueprint that we used for almost every grant that we applied for going forward. So similar, we help people create a blueprint for yourself. So the course, the Grant Hunter University, walks you through all the majority of the questions that you're going to see on any grant application. So that way you have them already done, you have your budget, you have your work plan, all of it ready to go. So any grant that you find, you're now able to pretty much 80% of the work is done, and then you can customize it to what that funder is looking for. So we help people with that blueprint so that writing grants becomes a lot easier and it's not a tedious task always having to start from scratch. So one tool that I wanted to jump into, and I had put it into the chat before, and I'll put it in again. All right, so where did I put that link? Way at the top. So this funding spreadsheet that I'm gonna be using majority of the time. So if you're able to come into the spreadsheet, you can follow along. But when people ask me about grants and where to find grants, this is where I encourage them to start, because there's one tool that you can use that will do a lot of the heavy lifting for you. And our team, we try to keep this spreadsheet as up to date as possible with knowing what grants are open, which are closed, which are coming up, which come up every so often. But I always encourage people to start here, because something like the Business Benefits Finder, you can use this tool to put in information about your business, and then it will show you different grants that are available for your company. So we can walk through this. So let's say you're looking for grant funding. Ask you approx how much, let's say up to 50,000. And we're gonna try to grow your business. You want to hire people, you need more working capital. Go to the next stage. You're gonna ask us a bit about your business. So where are you located? Ontario Southeastern. All right, so Tristy, if there's people talking stupidness, please put them into if you're seeing anybody doing stupid stuff in the chat, please let me know.
Yeah. Yeah, I noticed it, right? But I was like, you were speaking, so I don't want to cut you off. That's why. But yeah.
No worries, you should have access to do that.
Yeah. I know.
Thank you. So just a walkthrough of this tool. Oh, and actually, I'll put the tool into the chat if you wanted to follow along as well. Would be in the actual, let's see, in the spreadsheet that I was showing you. Oh, the thing is covering up my stuff. So we are in education. Let's see. Business supports, and then business supports. All right, so it does want to know how many employees you have. Let's see. we're between 500,000, incorporated, we're a nonprofit. We have Canadians, Black Canadians, newcomers under 40. And so I typically want to see all the programs, but if you just want to see those that are open right now, you're able to click on that. But we'll see what comes up here. All right, so you'll see the grants and funding section. So this is where you can look through if you want to hire employees with disabilities, there's funding for that. Let's see if you're doing digital literacy initiatives. That's interesting. What is this about? My principle to teach fundamental. Okay, so it's not open right now, but something to keep in mind. Resilient Communities Fund. I think this one was through the Ontario Trillium Foundation. But let's see what else. So this one is through FedDev. So if you're a nonprofit that supports economic development in Southwestern Ontario, across Canada, there's other regional development agencies. So depending on where you're located, the ones similar to FedDev would be in your area. What else do they have? Tree planting initiative. This one's if you're nonprofit helping businesses. And this one is if you're looking to do international development. So CanExport is really good if you want to do business outside of Canada. This one is up to 250,000, but this one's not currently accepting. They have another one. This one's to attract investment. They had one that helped you expand into other locations through CanExport. So if you're doing international sales and you want to open up new countries, I'll definitely check out the CanExport one. They do show you loans and capital investments or tax credits, wage subsidies if you're looking to hire. This is always a great place to look because anybody that you need to hire to your team, you'd be able to now get that subsidized, sometimes up to 50%, sometimes even up to 100%. And another one that was really good that we've seen before is the training grant. Let me see if it's still here. I don't see it. But if you're looking to bring on staff, there's a grant called the Canada Ontario Job Grant, which Canada Ontario Job Grant, which allows you to train your employees and put them through training up to $10,000. And then after they finish that training, onboard them as an employee. So it allows a person to really join your company and hit the ground running. So that's one of the tools. The other one that I like to look through is Happily. So Happily is in the spreadsheet, but I'll open it up just so you can get an idea of what it does. So the Business Benefits Finder, that one more finds government specific programs. Happily, this one is a bit broader. So it's not only locked into government programs. So initially it'll take you through a series of questions about your business, and then it'll curate different funds or types of funding that you would qualify for. So whether it's grants, loans, tax credits, incubators and accelerators, different competitions that are out there, different training that's available, or hiring grants. So I'll put this link into the chat as well for you. Oh, no worries, Chanel. Actually, I think if you go to happily.ai, you'd be able to follow along. So let's see what types of stuff is out there. So you'll see the federal government has an agriculture one, so not quite a fit with what I do. But what I do like about it is that it shows the difficulty of the grant. So the TELUS one, which is one of the grants, I was actually successful in getting in the past, so I'm always a big fan of it. So this one, now it's up to 200,000. It's currently accepting. So let me see, how do I go and look at this thing? Check this. View details on this opportunity. Okay, so you're able to check the details, and then you should be able to go to the website. So this TELUS, now the prize initially was 10,000. I think the next year they went up to 20,000, and then they went up to 50,000. Now it's up to 200,000. But this 200,000, oh, there's 5 grand prizes for 200,000, and then there's 15 finalists that will receive 20,000. But then it's usually broken down. So, okay, so this 200,000, it's 50,000 in cash. You get 115,000 in advertising, get 25,000 as a technology stack, and a $10,000 package to the TELUS Health and Wellbeing. And then for the 20,000 in prizing, you would get $10,000 in cash and $10,000 in technology from TELUS. So 5 are going to get the grand prize, and 15 are going to get the second prize. So also I'll put this into the chat so that you can follow along. Right. And again, Hello Pocketed is very similar to Happily. So if there's people that you bump into and they need support with finding where grants are, encourage them to access this spreadsheet. So that helps them at least sign up for any of these platforms that they can put in information about their business, and that way they can see what they qualify for. The spreadsheet, as I mentioned, we try to keep it as up to date as possible. So the BBPA program, that one is ongoing. So I usually encourage people to sign up for this because the BBPA program allows you to get services done for your business without you having to come out of pocket. So if you need a business plan, if you need, let's see, if you need, accounting, or if you need legal support, you're able to get connected with a service provider that will do the work for you, and then they invoice the BBPA directly, so you don't have to come out of pocket. Digital Main Street was a great one. It's currently closed, although I did hear it was renewed for 3 more years. So hopefully that comes back soon. CanExport was one that I had mentioned, being able to do research in other countries and then get that cost reimbursed up to 75%. So you're able to get a grant that'll cover up to 75% of those expenses. So if you want to go to another country and do a trade show, or if you want to do a marketing strategy and get support with market research, you're actually able to get that cost covered through the CanExport grant. The My Main Street one was open for a while. I did see, so My Main Street was for brick and mortar companies. That one, I believe they are announcing those winners, but the starter company is open in various cities. So each city has an entrepreneur center. So that entrepreneur center, or the Brampton Entrepreneur Center, they run the summer company program and also the starter company program. So being able to get up to $5,000 for your business, and they also help you with getting your business plan fine-tuned. You'd have to check with your local city entrepreneur center to see when theirs is launching. I did see Brampton had opened theirs. Let me see if it's actually still showing that it's open. I know they were going to be doing some info sessions about it. So these are just the traditional info sessions. They might have passed already. Let's see. So with their grants, let's see, Small Business Accelerator, so start a company. So check back in 2024. So we are checking back. Let's see. So it does talk about the eligibility. You do have to commit to running the business full time. All right. So it does talk about the orientation session. So the next one's going to be August the 8th and September the 5th. So this one is active. So let me put this into the chat so you can check it out. That's for those that might be in Brampton. You can sign up for these info sessions. If you're outside of Brampton, check with your local entrepreneur center to see when their starter company plus program is going to be launched. But this is a good one that helps. I believe it's if you're in your first 3 years of business. I know Toronto had that stipulation. I'm not sure if Brampton has that same thing. All right. So American Express, that opens every so often. The Ontario Center of Innovation. So if you are running a tech company, it is good to check out the Ontario Center of Innovation. Or if you're adding technology into your business, you're able to get grants to hire recent graduates to help you build out that technology. So another great one to check out. Toronto Enterprise Fund was focused more on social enterprises. That one did actually close. So hopefully United Way, it was funded through United Way. So hopefully they figure out a way to bring that back. EDC and BC stuff. So the Black Innovation Fellowship, again, if you are running a tech company, definitely check out the Black Innovation Fellowship in partnership with the DMZ and the startup company through City of Toronto. Desjardins is one that comes up every so often. So check in with us, or we always put out in our newsletter when these things come back open. So when Desjardins opens back, or if the investment readiness program opens back up, we will definitely let you know. Some of the nonprofit grants that are out there range from Alterna Savings and their community grants. FedDev has that one. If you're a nonprofit supporting other businesses to help with economic development, they love to see you helping businesses with increasing their sales or increasing their hiring or increasing their use of technology. That one was open recently. I think it closed June 24th. Yep. The Supporting Black Communities Initiative, that one had 3 rounds. I think they might be working on a 4th round. I have to put the actual information in here. And see what else. So Desjardins always comes about. So Desjardins has an interesting youth program. So if you're a nonprofit or you want to be a partner with Desjardins, you can actually apply directly with an unsolicited application. So I encourage people that run youth programs to let Desjardins know about what you're doing so that they can see if they can support it. Metcalf and Ontario Trilling Foundation. So all of these are different areas, and the Ontario Trilling Foundation is one that we talk about a lot because their funding happens multiple times a year. So I'll pull it up for you just so you can see the range of grants that they do have. Oh, let me see what I pull up here. Right, so ranging from their community investments, which are the seed grant, grow grant, and capital grant. They have the Youth Opportunities Fund, which includes the Youth Innovation Stream, the Family Innovation Stream, and the Systems Innovation Stream. And they had the Resilient Communities Fund. This one, I don't believe is open right now. Yeah, so that was back in October. And the Youth Opportunities Fund, let's see if they have any dates. So nothing just yet. I believe I saw it's going to be November is the next time it opens. So we'll keep an eye on that one. Also, the Community Investments Fund. This one just closed June the 26th, but again, it opens usually twice a year. So we'll keep an eye on this one so that you can take a look. But other grants like the Region of Peel, they just launched B3. So if your business is Black focused, Black supporting, and Black founded, you're able to access a new fund that the Region of Peel just created. I wonder if it's on their website yet. Let's see. So this is the one. So the B3 funding framework. But I believe the first tranche of money is going to be $625,000 that they're putting out, but they are doing info sessions about it. Oh, so the info sessions did finish. So if you reach out to them, they'll probably send you the recording, but this fund is about to open. So one to keep your eye on. So other grants like InnoWeave, I wonder where this, because InnoWeave did switch hands. It used to be under the McConnell Foundation, and now it is under, is it Makeway? I think it's Makeway. Yes, so Makeway is running the InnoWeave program. So I talk a lot about social enterprises and nonprofits that are starting income generating activities or for-profits that have positive impact on the community. These are things that InnoWeave tries to support. So InnoWeave has grants where you can hire coaches to help you build out those social enterprise projects. So let me see if this is open at the moment. And I'll put this in the chat just so you have an access to it. I believe it closed in March, but it's supposed to open multiple times throughout the year. Let's see, coaching streams. So these are the different things you can use your coach for. So to clarify your social enterprise, to grow your current impact, to learn and adapt. Inactive is probably old. So you can look through coaches that they do have, and you can apply for support. So let's see. So 2024, it was April 26th. So once this cycle ends, which people had to submit for June 21st, they would open back up another cycle. So we'll keep our eye on this, and you can see the amounts that you're able to get in funding to hire this coach to help you either develop an impact statement or a theory of change. You can develop like a business plan to scale your current project. If you're already running a social enterprise, you can use money to create an impact measurement program. You can create a developmental evaluation that's over 2 years. This is where you can create a feasibility study or a business plan for a social enterprise, or you can do policy engagement or collective impact. So again, these are different ways that you can get funding to now fine tune what you're trying to do so that it unlock additional funding through something like the Social Finance Fund, or if the investment readiness program comes back. All right. So other ones, I mean, the Canadian Women's Foundation has grants. The Scotia Bank has their Scotia Rise grant, Scotia Rise program, TD Ready commitment. Again, these are things that you can apply to at any time, as long as it fits in with any of the pillars that Scotia Bank or TD focus on. Advanced Brampton. So if you're in Brampton, they have grants for social, what's it called? Nonprofit organizations. And the Foundation for Black Communities, they had one of their first grants. So let's see if anything new might be coming up. Because the big grant, so it is showing who received the funding from before. Let's see. So the Investment Readiness Program, that one is also closed. They had the Ontario Youth Wellness Grants, vaccine literacy. But maybe on their homepage, it'll show if anything is currently active. Let's see if it is. So it doesn't look like just now. These might be from before. So again, if anything, when their next grant program comes out, we will definitely let you know through our newsletter. All right, actually, let me go back to the slides because I might want to miss anything. All right, so we talked about different grants. Is the Cassell grant still open? Let me see this one. So Cassell launches their 2024 grants. So this one looks like it is the this one was June. Okay, so this one's closed. But again, we had talked about this at the last session. Let me go back. The Black Opportunity Fund, that one they did in partnership with CIBC and the Black Chamber of Commerce. So being able to, one, with CIBC as a loan program, you can get up to 250,000. But if you're still needing help with your business plan or any of these areas, like increasing your financial literacy, completing your financial projections, or credit repair, or increasing your credit score, you're able to work with the Canadian Black Chamber of Commerce. And as you go through any of their programs, you're able to get up to $2,000 as a grant as you complete any of the programs that you need. So if you do need help with business plan, it does go over 90 days, but you're able to obtain a grant as you're going through it. But one thing, if you weren't interested in, let's see, where does this link take you? So if you weren't interested in the loan itself and just wanted to go through the programming, you're able to directly go through the Black Chamber of Commerce. So I'll put this link into the chat. And that way you can pick the program that you need and you're able to get support in that way. All right, so we talked about Social Finance Fund, we talked about the Ontario Trillium Foundation. These are things to keep your eye on, because especially with the Social Finance Fund, information about how people can invest into your social enterprise is going to be coming out soon. So as we know more, we will definitely share with you. Some of the loan programs, I know we're here talking about grants, but I do feel grants have a pretty finicky timeline. It's either between 3 to 6 months and it's not guaranteed. So if you are looking for more immediate funding and it's used, it will be used to increase your sales and your revenue, I would look at some of the microloan programs and then still apply for grants. And as those come in, those I would say are bonus, but really fine tuning your operations, your marketing and sales. If you have a strong plan for how to improve that, a loan would be something I would encourage instead of just waiting and hoping and seeing if a grant comes in. So ACBN, we have our microloan, Access Community Capital Fund, RISE Asset Development, and FACE Coalition also has a microloan. But then each of the banks have their own bigger Black entrepreneur loan programs. So whether it's RBC, CIBC, BMO, Scotia, TD, I believe, has one, and Futurepreneur has a program. Although Futurepreneur's program only goes up to the age of 39. So if you're 40 plus, we are ineligible. So as I'm wrapping that up, and we'll open it up for questions shortly, just letting you know, if the process of researching and writing grants is overwhelming, please know that Empower4X has grant writing services, so we can take that stress off your plate and get it done for you. But to give an idea of the Grant Hunter University, where if you want to kind of go at your own pace and learn how to write grants, Grant Hunter University is a great step in walking through what it takes to get a full grant done. And then you can use that blueprint with any grant that you find. That one, regular price is $1,500 as a standalone course. Because you've come to our info session and you're part of the Empower4X network, we do have it for $297. So the team will put that link into the chat if it's something that you need help with understanding how to write grants. This is definitely a great option. And to give you an idea with our services, if we're going to do it for you, depending on your operating budget, it ranges with our retainers from $1,500 up to $25,000. But if you just need standalone services for hiring grants, that's in the $500 to $1,000 range. If you're doing one of the community grants, that usually goes up to about $3,000, or provincial grants, federal grants. And if you just needed a review of a current grant that you're doing, that typically ranges between $500 to $1,500. But as part of our Grant Hunter University, you actually get a review of one of your first grants. So keep that in mind. If you want to learn how to do it and then have us review it for you, that is an option as well. All right, so let me see if this link works. So if you wanted to talk with the team and see just how we can work with you, or if you had more questions about the different grants that are out there, you can, what's it called? You can QR code that, or where is the chat? I'll put this link, although the link is huge. That should take you to this form. Okay, you're about to leave, yes. All right, so you can fill out this form and then we'll follow up with you for your grant writing needs. But beyond that, I believe that is, oh, so the upcoming event, look out for the business plan writing support, that program or that workshop, and the TELUS Stand with Owners grant working group. We're going to be doing that later this month to help those get that application in. And as always, we are excited to work with you. Feel free to check out our website or ACBN's website, and we'll be back here next month. Share with a friend, let them know if they're having trouble finding the funding they need. This info session, we're actually gonna get the recording up as well, so you can let them know they can watch the recording, or if they have questions, they can come and join us live. So I'll stop sharing so that you can open the floor to any questions. All right. So let me just pause this. So feel free, you can raise your hand, or if you wanted to just unmute if you had a question. Oh, and I forgot to check the chat. I did see a tour company. Yeah, if you're running a business, even if it's a tour company, something like the TELUS Stand with Owners or the Desjardins Good Spark grants, those would be ones because those grants help with operations, or what they used to have with Digital Main Street, where you can get grants to help with marketing and like digital media or digital marketing. Those would be a good fit. Not seeing any other questions. Okay, sweet. So if there's no additional questions, remember the recording will be shared. So we'll send that out. And also feel free to email us. I'll put our link, our email into the chat. So if you have additional questions that come to you later, feel free to email us. And we're looking forward to supporting you on your journey. Let's see, I often find it difficult to find the category my cleaning business falls under. Yeah, that's a good question, because I guess it depends on the options. Usually because I can't find car detailing sometimes, so I'll just put other and type it in, or automotive. Usually there should be a section that says home care, so I would use home care. Right. Again, enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Thank you for being present and being here with me. I have find a lot of joy in sharing about these grants that we can find, and we want to hear success stories of you being able to apply and be successful with grants, so we can add it to our case study success wall. It's actually a spreadsheet. I just use a spreadsheet to keep track of people that are successful with grants. But thank you, George, for being here. And thank you, everyone. Again, enjoy the rest of your afternoon, and we shall chat soon. All right, later.